Hey everyone, welcome to Seidio on Display, Seidio.com's own YouTube channel regarding product previews, reviews, and demonstrations. Today we are checking out the Seidio Convert Combo Kit for the HTC Evo 3D. You are more than welcome to check this kit out at its official website at any time, and that is going to be located at www.seidioonline.com. Now, we've already done videos for the Seidio Active as well as the Seidio Surface cases, so we highly encourage you to check those out. As a matter of fact, in this video we are not going to talk about the Surface case that much because this is part of one of the components in the Seidio Convert case, so we just want to throw that out there. And we also want to let you guys know that Seidio does have a couple of variants of the Convert, alright? So be very careful when you're shopping around for this because they're not all the same. Some of them have less things, some of them have more things, and some of them are completely different than what you may be after. So I just want to mention that the Convert comes in a combo kit in which you see right here where everything is included and you're ready to go. There's also your version called the add-on kit that's actually made just with these pieces on the right hand side right here without the Surface. That is just to be used with the Surface case if you happen to buy that by itself. And then there's the extended version, which sounds a little bit complicated because that is made for the extended version of the Surface, the one that accommodates the Seidio extended battery. So if all of this stuff doesn't make sense for you guys, I know it doesn't because it didn't for me the first time I heard all of it. Just head over to the official website that is going to be at www.seidioonline.com, and then everything is laid out there for you nice and neat, and everything should hopefully work out for you and basically be clearer. So moving on, the Convert is Seidio's heavy-duty case. This is the premier product. This is the product that you want to be looking into if you need a lot of protection for your Evo 3D. And if I want to use other brand names out there, this is comparable to the OtterBox Defender case as an example. Okay, I'm not saying it is, but I'm just throwing it out there because they all have their pros and cons. And this would be also comparable to the Trident Kraken or Kraken 2, for example. Even the Ballistic HC is another name that I'm going to throw out there if that happens to come up for the Evo 3D. All these stuff, what they have in common is that they're all heavy-duty cases for your phone, and that's what the Convert is. Now, I've dissected this combo kit into all of its individual components, and I'm going to go ahead and start with them as they go on by the way that they're supposed to be attached to the phone. So I'm going to start with the screen protector first, moving on to the surface, the skin, the shell, and then the actual belt clip holster, and then I'll go ahead and end my review there. So that's the order of things. So let's go and get started. Now, the combo kit comes with a screen protector for your Evo 3D. Nothing out of the ordinary. This is Seidio's own screen protector. You can, as a matter of fact, buy this separately if you wish to. And this is made specifically for Seidio cases, meaning that if you happen to own any other case, the Surface, the Active, as well as the Convert, this is the screen protector that they recommend you use. That doesn't necessarily mean that you have to use it, but we would always recommend you check this out. Of course, with the Convert, it's always included, regardless of whatever version you happen to buy. So that is the first layer of protection for your Evo 3D. The second layer is going to be this right here. This is the actual Seidio Surface case, alright? As we mentioned earlier, we already did a video review of it, so we're not really going to go over this part of the Convert, but this is the Surface by itself, and we're going to go and attach it to our dummy Evo 3D right now, because this is the second layer. Of course, we didn't install a screen protector on there, but it is supposed to be on there. So moving on from this, on top of the Surface, this is where the Convert really starts to come into its own. We have this very thick silicone skin. Okay, you will notice that there is a dust guard for the rear camera lenses and the LED flash, and you'll notice there's coverings on the side for the volume up and down rocker. Covering on the other side, I believe that was for the it's been a USB port, but I could be wrong. And then there's also a covering on the top for the power button. So I'm just going to go and put that in here right now and close this all up. And once I put this layer on, it does seem a little bit loose because then again, it's not complete yet. So, this isn't how the Convert is supposed to look, but this is how it looks so far. So I was right about that being the USB cover, and no, it doesn't cover the USB completely. It is technically a dust cover, as you see right there. So moving on from this, we have this hardened polycarbonate frame. It's kind of like an exoskeleton, if you want to go and call it that. This actually really isn't that thick, folks. It's a little bit on the thin side, and it's actually quite flexible, okay? What this really does is just add some extra reinforcement reinforcement to the skin itself. Okay, so that way you have a nice combination of hard and soft. But in reality, this is not really a major part of the case. I know a lot of people who see this first are thinking, okay, this is like the hardest part. Not really. The skin is what is doing most of the work on the convert. This is really just to keep it in place, and like I said, to reinforce it. So we're going to go and add that on right now. And this one is always a little bit tricky because if you don't do it correctly, then things don't line up correctly. So not bad for a first try. Everything is looking good so far for the converts. So once you have all of those together, this is technically the convert on the Evo 3D. The belt clip holster is of course included, but this is somewhat of an optional accessory because for those of you out there, you're obviously not going to be using this 24/7. Most of the time your phone's going to be out like this. I'll go and talk about this in just a second, but I want to give you a 360 tour of the convert now on the Evo 3D. So starting with the lip area, as with all heavy duty cases, as you can see, it's extremely thick. Okay, and it is pretty wide, but not wide enough where it's going to hinder the screen protector. So keep that in mind. You are supposed to be using this in conjunction with the case after all. But with the thick lip, that means that your phone is very well protected from drops if it lands on its face. Okay, now if you rest your phone on its face, it's going to be up and away from any surface you're resting it on. But as I mentioned, more importantly, if you dead drop your phone, it happens to fall, do a tumble, whatever, ricochet off something else, even if it lands on its face like such, the lip, for most intents and purposes, should catch the impact first, and hopefully anything else the screen protector should protect against, and that is it. Moving on to the top, we have a dust cover for the audio port. You can just go and remove it, and there it is. It is a little bit recessed in there. We always recommend straight connectors, but it's not that bad on the convert, which may be a good thing for some folks. So an angled connector or a right angle connector should be okay. And there's a covering for the power button on the top that you see right there. Easy to press and access. Moving on to the side, I talked about this a little bit earlier. This is the covering for the USB port. Just go and pop it back, and it is exposed. Well, you don't need it exposed anymore. You want to go and keep it closed, and it's always nice to see this on a heavy-duty case because, in my personal opinion, the data port on any smartphone is the most crucial port to protect, because once that goes, you not only can you no longer charge your phone, but weird things start happening to it as well because the phone starts registering stuff it shouldn't be registering. Moving on to this side, we have a covering for the camera button, as well as an opening for the 2D, 3D switch, and of course a covering for the volume up and down button, or rocker I should say, very easy to press. Moving on to the bottom, we have an opening for the microphone port, so no surprises there. And then moving on to the back, this is just the rear of the convert. There's a huge dust cover for the rear camera, lens, and LED flash. Now this isn't a 100% flush cover, okay? Even when you keep it closed, you notice on the side right there, it is a little bit exposed, okay? And I also want to mention this case is not dive proof or water submersible, okay? It's water resistant. Yes, that means if you go out in the rain or you have water splash on you, it's going to be fine, but it's not supposed to go underwater. It's not one of those cases, so please don't mistake it for that. Whenever you need to use a camera, just go and pull back the dust cover, and that's how it looks. Pretty snazzy, if we do say so ourselves, and it's also pretty easy to use. So let's go and move on to the holster right here. For many folks, this is a optional accessory. For some, this is the vital accessory and maybe the most important accessory in the entire kit. And Seidio has pretty good belt clip holsters, so we're kind of glad to see that they're still making heavy-duty ones, but there are a couple of changes that we would like to see for them in the future. First and foremost, the belt clip does rotate in 180 degrees total, 90 degrees to the left as well as 90 degrees to the right. It's very easy to press, and it goes out very wide, which is good for people who have large things to clip onto. Unfortunately, Seidio still uses spring hinges. These are middle of the road to us. They're not really horrible plastic hinges that Trident is using right now, Trident cases I should say, but at the same time they're not as sturdy as the belt clip holsters we see from OtterBox, which use full metal hinges, or off the top of my head I believe Monaco cases, they use really nice metal hinges, and we would really like to Seidio to change to those over time, because spring hinges do wear out eventually and the springs just pop out and makes the clip useless. But it is what it is. On the top we have a little claw to restrain the phone in place. No surprises there. On the inside we have a lining of microfiber that's going to keep your phone nice and clean, because this is a face-in design. I'm just going to go and slide it in right now. I'm going to go and pop this back first. And once it's in there, I can actually go ahead and make sure that everything is properly situated. I'm going to go and lock it in place. And once I lock it in place, the claw can no longer move, and the phone is secure. And that is it, folks. This is the converted case, I should say, the converted Seidio Surface, which is named the Convert, for the HTC Evo 3D. So I'm running out of time here. Check all of the stuff Seidio has for your phone at their official website, www.seidioonline.com. Check us out on our own website at www.daydio.com. Check out the other videos for the active and the surface, and keep following us on our YouTube channel, Seidio on Display, for more product previews, reviews, and demonstrations. Thanks so much for watching.